All right, today is day 6. We're going to dive into short form copy. So, up to this point, we've learned a little bit about copywriting as a whole. We've learned about deep work. We've done some practice. We've learned about fascinations. We've learned some important things. Now it's time to start bringing some of that together and getting you guys used to the idea of short form copy. Now, got some notes here. I'll be reading off a little bit here, but really need to understand that the short form copy is going to be your entry point as a new copywriter, right? The amount of when you're first starting out, this is typically where you'll step in. Now, when I say short form copy, I'm talking about things like email. I'm talking about things like Facebook ads. I'm talking about things like Google paid ads. Sometimes even social media posts can fall under this. But these are typically short pieces of copy that are designed to grab the reader's attention out in the world, wherever they are, grab their attention, build up a lot of curiosity and desire in them, and then give them a clear thing to click on to go and learn more, right? So, something to keep in mind is you're not really selling the actual product or the actual service with short form copy. What you're really doing is selling the click. So you're convincing someone to step out of the wild, wild world that they're in right now, their inbox, their social media feed, step out of that world and into your selling environment, which is typically your sales or landing page or a VSL or something like that, right? It's akin to let's say buying a Rolex, right? As you walk down the street, you don't really buy the Rolex on the sidewalk. You see the store, you see the picture, you see the Rolex, logo. You know there's Rolexes in there. You get your attention, and you decide to step inside where they have this wonderful curated selling environment where you're more likely to make the sell. To actually buy, right? Like it wouldn't feel right on a grimy sidewalk to decide to buy a Rolex, right? You want to do it on the inside. It's very similar with short form copy. You use short form copy to grab their attention, get them curious, get them wanting it, amplifying their emotions, and then have them step into the selling environment, which is your sales page, your landing page, your website, etc., where they can actually have the night where you can control the ambiance, where there's not any distractions, and you can carefully take them through the actual buying process itself, right? So let's go through some of the elements to short form copy. So one of the biggest frameworks is called DIC, disrupt, intrigue, and click. Those are the 3 elements: disrupt, intrigue, and click. So let's go over the first one, disrupt. The purpose of the disrupt section in short form copy is to grab the reader's attention, right? It's to grab their attention out there in the wild and get them to stop and look. It's also called a pattern interrupt, right? And it's extremely, extremely important. This is the first battle your short form copy has to win. If it doesn't win the battle for grabbing the attention at the very beginning, doesn't matter how good the rest of it is, doesn't matter how good your sales page is after the link, it doesn't matter because you never captured their attention in the first place. So the first thing you need to do is disrupt. So that means you're going to dangle something new in front of them, right? The way the human brain is designed, we look for new things that are not like the pattern, are the things that catch our eye, right? Because think about it, back in the day, we're on the savannah, we're fighting for our lives. We're either looking for some sort of movement out there because, hey, if that blade of grass moves out there in the savannah, that could either be an antelope or it could be a lion trying to get me, right? So our brain is designed to try and find things that are different, that stand out. And the more that you can connect things that you bring up in the disrupt section to either a threat or a new opportunity for them, the better, right? You want to make sure that you're not doing boring statements of fact. You want to provide something new, interesting, and something connected either to an opportunity or a threat that they're facing, right? The disrupt section is extremely powerful. For an email, the disrupt section is that subject line, and then it's that first line of copy once you get into the email itself, typically speaking, right? You might expand upon it a little bit more beyond them, but it really happens at the subject line and that first little bit of copy for that. For the Facebook ads, your disrupt is going to be the image or the video, maybe the headline, and then maybe the first line or two of the actual body copy of the Facebook ad, for example, right? And that's the disrupt. And again, this is where those fascinations you've been working on will come in nicely. You'll quickly discover that some of the fascinations that you've written will make excellent subject lines because they grab attention, they tease an opportunity or a threat, and they create enough of an intrigue to give the reader a reason to continue engaging, to open, to step inside the selling environment of your email. So it's extremely, extremely important you include an effective disrupt section. Now let's move on to the intrigue. Now, intrigue is the I in DIC, and it is the heart of short form copy, right? So once you grab their attention, you're going to start building up their desire by using fascinations, basically using using fascination bullets to build their desire and their curiosity, right? And again, it's not necessarily using, the exact fascination bullet formulas like you learned about so far, but it's more about revealing pieces and parts, a little here, a little bit, there a little bit, without giving away the full answer as to what you're actually teasing, right? For example, I've got in my hand right now a device. It's about 2 inches long, about a 1/4 inch wide. It's metallic. It'll get through any TSA check. I can carry it in my pocket. I can put it inside my bag. It's something I take with me every single place I travel. It's extremely important, and funnily enough, it actually has helped improve my marriage. You're kind of curious what this device is, right? You don't know what it is, but I've given you some information. I've done some sort of a job. I've done some level of intrigue building now. Now you kind of want to know. You've got this sort of almost low-grade anxiety trying to figure out what does he have in his hand. This is what you want to create with your email, what you want to create with your sales page. I'll reveal what it is in a second, but just sit in this for a moment and realize this is the feeling you want to create with your short form copy. You want them so curious about what that thing is. I've told them they now know what some of it. They have some idea what it is, but they're not quite sure. I could even do a not thing, right? Like it's not a bullet, it's not a knife, it's not. It has nothing to do with firearms. I mean, obviously those aren't guesses you have since what I've said so far, but I can use not statements to build curiosity. Anyways, holding my hand is just it's just nail clippers, right? But that buildup of curiosity is something you want to achieve in your short form copy. And you do that by slowly revealing information about it. If you'll notice, the way the fascination bullets work is they reveal some pieces of information without giving the whole thing. They give enough of a benefit and enough of a specific detail to get you curious, but they don't quite reveal the whole thing. They leave just enough to the imagination to make you want to click. Like I said before, this is the heart of the short form copy. This is where the real emotional work does. And you want to tie this curiosity to either part of the product or solution or to the problem that they're facing. Hey, the real reason you haven't lost weight is because you don't understand this one part of human biology and how our bodies process and metabolize fats. Once you understand this, it becomes really easy, and blah, 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 and you can tease and stuff that, no, it's not, this isn't a keto thing, this isn't intermittent fasting, it's something completely different. A new study came out last year in Harvard Medical Schools. It reported this. You can give pieces in detail without revealing the whole thing, and that's how you build the intrigue, right? Again, this is the key. This is the heart. You have to build up the intrigue around the part of it they care about the product or about the solution. Make them say, oh, I want to get this wonderful result in my life. The only way to do it is to figure out the answer to this problem. And they've given me just enough that I'm curious. I need to know the full answer. I need to click. So again, that's the I. That's the intrigue section. Once you've disrupted them, the D, and once you've built up intrigue, the I, it's time to move on to the click, C. So if you've done the first two correctly, the click is almost going to happen by itself, right? You've got their attention, you've built up their curiosity, they've got enough desire around it, they're going to click, right? However, there's a few things you can do during the click, during the call to action, the CTA as it's called, that you can do to improve your click-through rates. So one of the things to keep in mind here, I like to combine both elements of the D, like the DIC. I like to include the disrupt element and the intrigue element all over again in my single line CTA. So click here to discover the little known way that the body actually metabolizes fat so you can get what you want, so you can lose weight before the summer, or whatever. One line that has a specific detail, has some curiosity, and ties back to the big promise, the big opportunity that they have. All in one thing. And the real reason you do this is because a lot of people open email, instead of reading any of the words, they'll just scroll down and see what the link says, right? You want to have all the elements in the link necessary to get someone to click if that's all they read, too. There's a few other things you can do with your CTA to increase your click-through rate as well. So once you get to that edge, they're right at the edge. Like a lot of people will read the email, they'll get curious, but they're kind of at the edge and they need something to pull them over, right? And there's a few emotions you can really step in there and use to help them come across the edge, right? You can tease a little bit of urgency. You can give them a time deadline. Hey, this special thing is only going to be available for XYZ. You always want to make sure there's real scarcity or real urgency. Rather, don't make a fake urgency like, oh, these things are flying off the shelves. They'll be gone soon. give them a specific reason to believe that it's a real piece of urgency, right? On the other side of that is scarcity. Hey, there's a limited number of these. They're going to go up. Like, again, there's only 4 left in stock. We've already sold 97, so click here to buy them before they're gone. You want to give them a real scarce reason, or hey, I can only take on 2 new group consulting clients this week because of my schedule. Click here to apply before the spots are gone, etc. You want to give them a specific reason. When they feel urgency, when they feel scarcity, it will oftentimes drive them over the edge. Another thing you can do is social proof. So if you show them testimonials at this stage of other people that are getting results, you don't want to reveal the big answer to the curiosity you just built up, but you can show general testimonials of other people getting the results. That's always another good thing to give them some more certainty to help them go over the edge. And another thing you can do is really crank the pain. So reiterate the problem they're facing and the implications that they will face if they don't solve the problem now, right? That's another good way to get them to come over the edge, right? Again, there's just generally a few things you can apply there at the CTA, but if you've done the disrupt part right, you've done the intrigue part right, the click should come pretty easily. You don't really need to go that heavy-handed with the click optimization levers I kind of showed you right now, but it is useful to understand them and know where they fit in. So I've gone over the basic framework for short form copy: DIC, disrupt, intrigue, and click. Now let's talk about the exercise I'm having to do today to get at it. So now that you know the theory, here's how we're going to handle the concrete examples. For your today's assignment, I want you to go into your inbox for the email address that you created at the beginning for your new swipe file email address where you signed up to a bunch of things. I want you to go and look through the emails there. Hopefully you've subscribed to someone like Kyle Milligan or Ben Settle, who are really, really good at doing this in their email. Go through and look at emails. I want you to copy and paste one of those, the better performing emails into a Google Doc. And then go through and highlight each section, the disrupt, the intrigue, and the click section. And like with a different color, so green, yellow, red, or whatever, right? Pick 3 different colors, go through and highlight the different sections. Now I want you to then go through and identify, again, this is all during a deep work session, I want you to go through and identify how they're doing this, how they're doing these things, how are they disrupting people's, grabbing their attention, how are they building intrigue and curiosity, how are they selling the click. Go through and identify in this email example how they're doing each of those 3 things: disrupt, intrigue, click. There's also a bonus training that I've done before included here for you to go and look at to learn more about this. But this will be really important. I want you to analyze and try and figure out how they're doing it. So find a good one, and then try and ask yourself, how are they doing? How are they grabbing my attention? How are they building intrigue? How are they selling the click? And that's going to give you the foundation for tomorrow's work.